that experience by improving customer service and finding ways to make the office more efficient.
Assessor is, I enjoy real estate. I enjoy trying to make things more efficient, taking a look at existing legacy processes in the office and seeing what I can change. I'm real big on customer service, coming from a private background and working in retail banking.
His opponent, Antonio Price, is a farmer and blue-collar worker who's never held public office. Price acknowledged there would be a learning curve, but said he believes the assessor's office needs to do a better job connecting with the public.
What I hear when I talk to people is there's a disconnect between the civilians and blue collars and people in the office. And I would like to help either start a program with my own cash to help show people what's going on and why there's a disconnect and why there's a separate.
During the forum, the candidates also discussed how property values are determined, why assessed values don't always translate directly into higher tax bills, and the use of technology in the office, staffing challenges, and whether the county assessor should hold professional appraisal certification. Konp County Assessor oversees the valuation of taxable property throughout the county. Those assessments are used by local taxing districts to calculate property tax bills. A Port Angeles man escaped injury after the semi he was driving went over an embankment on Highway 101 near Mount Walker yesterday morning. The State Patrol says 23-year-old Jordan Abbott of PA was southbound near milepost 298 shortly before 5:40 a.m. when the truck went onto the shoulder, struck a guardrail, came to rest down the embankment. Abbott was not hurt and was wearing a seatbelt. Troopers say drugs or alcohol were not involved. The State Patrol listed the cause of the crash as the wheels leaving the road. Abbott was cited for second-degree negligent driving. Both the 2017 Peterbilt tractor and its trailer were totaled in that accident. Washington State Department of Transportation is moving most employees out of its aging Olympia headquarters because of structural and seismic safety concerns. Fewer than 50 employees now work there on an average day, compared with about 840 before the pandemic. WSDOT says workers have been directed to minimize time in the building and use telework or other state facilities around Thurston County. The building remains open, and an inspection after cracks were reported last November found no damage to structural columns. WSDOT says it's working with other state agencies on a long-term plan that could establish a headquarters at a different location. Deaths and serious injuries among children involved in Washington's child welfare system continue to decline this spring. The Department of Children, Youth and Families reports 6 children died, 5 suffered critical injuries from April through June in our state. During the first half of the year, there were 18 such cases, half the number recorded during the same period in 2025. State officials say the decline may be partly connected to fewer opioid overdose deaths and changes in child welfare practices. 4 incidents this year were linked to fentanyl, compared with 27 during all of last year. The state recorded a record number of child welfare deaths and critical injuries in 2025. This is News Radio KONP.
Hi, I'm Terry Barrett.
I am Nick Barrett.
We invite you to join Project Safer's annual one-day event at the Clallam County Fairgrounds. Register now and receive free fair entrance tickets for everyone in your group. In Clallam County, Project Safer is working to improve emergency responses for individuals who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities. By sharing personalized information about communication needs and approach preferences, Project Safer helps first responders provide safer, more effective interactions for everyone involved.
This is Police Chief Brian Smith inviting you to join law enforcement and fellow first responders for the annual Project Safer event. Our goal is for law enforcement and first responders to have complete information when encountering community members who've experienced intellectual or developmental disabilities. Come to the Clallam County Fair and register with Safer.
Project Safer, Thursday, August 20th at the Clallam County Fair from 10 to 4. Register now and receive free admission. Visit ClallamCountyWA.gov and search Project Safer.
Need a new roof? Save big with Tri-State Roofing. For a limited time, mention promo code KONP50 and get 50% off new gutters with your new roof, or 50% off a new skylight with your roof replacement. Protect your home with expert installation, quality materials, and a team you can trust. Financing available. Tri-State Roofing, 360-208-2222, and mention KONP50.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling.
Mainly clear skies this afternoon with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 68. Northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, lows level off around 53. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, high of 71. Upper 60s Friday and Saturday with a chance for isolated showers Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 70 Sunday, 71 Monday, and 68 on Tuesday. Once again, high of 68 today, low of 53 tonight, a high of 71 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 60.
This News Radio KONP News Hour brought to you by Century 21 Real Estate Center. Trusted locally, connected globally.
Good morning, this is Chris Burnett. We'll start in the land of 10,000 lakes. The Minnesota Vikings named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback. Coach Kevin O'Connell confirmed on Tuesday. It was the expected conclusion to the team's quarterback competition that saw its share of inconsistent practices leading to the decision. O'Connell spoke after practice.
There's moments in time where there's comfort from Kyler in the scheme. He had some really high completion days where he was able to show some really, really good understanding of just putting the ball in play, playing with great timing, rhythm. As you continue to look at the body of work through those 10 days, what jumped out is what could be.
Three-time All-Star catcher Adley Rutschman went 1 for 3 and walked twice in his Red Sox debut Tuesday night as Boston lost its fourth straight 5-3 to the Blue Jays in Toronto.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Massa runs again from first as he sets at the belt. He throws, and Adley swings and chops one up the middle. Got a chance to shoot through. Backhanded at second. Throw to first, not in time. Adley beats it out. He's got his first Red Sox hit. An infield single to second base on a bouncer, and the Red Sox keep it going with 2 on and 2 out.
WEEI 93.7 FM. And the Tampa Bay Rays defeated the Athletics 12-4 on Tuesday in Sacramento to grab their 8th straight win, the longest active win streak in Major League Baseball.
Nick Martinez offers, and a ground ball to first should end it. With it, Valade, he goes to the bag, and Nick Martinez has just his 2nd career complete game and the first for the Rays in more than a year. 6 home runs are more than enough. Tampa Bay is 8-0 on the road trip. A resounding 12-4 win over the A's.
The call from 620 WDAE.
Swung on a miss. Fastball upstairs. Down goes Cal. And that is it for the Mariners tonight. Frustrating night as the Mariners lose 4-1. The Yankees take game 1 of this 3-game series.
Now, the Mariners' offensive struggles followed them to New York last night. Seattle managed just 1 run in a 4-1 loss to the Yankees, extending their losing streak to 5 games now. Cal Raleigh didn't sugarcoat the problem afterwards, saying the Mariners have to do better offensively. Seattle has scored just 6 runs during this 5-game skid. While the loss dropped the Mariners to 65 and 55, they'll try to turn things around again tonight. Game 2 at Yankee Stadium. We take the air at 3 o'clock this afternoon here on KONP, brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Seahawks have some significant injury news out of training camp. Safety Nick Emanwari passed his physical yesterday, an important step toward returning from ankle surgery last month. Seattle also signed linebacker Aaron Smith while placing fullback Robbie Oots on the injured reserve. Seahawks now prepping for their preseason opener Saturday night at Lumen Field as they take on the Dallas Cowboys.
This is Ed from Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Our family has trucked hay to feed the hungry animals in Western Washington for 4 generations. In that time, we have built a growing legacy of serving the needs of our customers, and we've never stopped. In 2014, we ventured into the equipment world by becoming a dealer and service provider for Mahindra Tractors. Since then, we have partnered with quality brands such as Bad Boy, Aaron's Gravely, LS Tractor, Husqvarna, Snake River Trailers, and now Wacker Neuson Construction Equipment. We have a 3-base shop where we not only service the brands we sell, but we also work on most major brands including Kubota, John Deere, and New Holland. We carry a wide variety of parts, filters, belts, and fluids. We have a fully stocked hydraulic shop and can build hoses for most machines while you wait. Chainsaw or weed eater need some TLC, we work on small engines too. We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care, and we look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care too.
Miss, Your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. More stocks are up than down today. That's as traders celebrate today's July Consumer Price Index report showing subdued retail inflation. Kava Group sales rising faster than expected due to increased traffic and customers buying higher priced proteins and extras like pita chips and salmon. Sales did slow at the end of the second quarter due to reports of a parasitic outbreak, but trends have improved since. We have a reading that shows mortgage rates eased a little, the Mortgage Bankers Association says. The average rate on the 30-year fixed loan slipped last week to 6.77% from 6.81% the week before. That was the highest in a year. And Google's Pixel smartphones have sold decently in recent years, in part because they undercut rival phones from Apple and Samsung on price. Now Google's just unveiled slate of Pixel 11 phones average $100 more than last year's models. Standard Pixel 11, $899. Pro models are more. A foldable one is $1,899. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
They say money can't buy happiness, but have you ever walked across brand new floors in your socks? McCrory Carpet One's huge summer clearance sale is proof that happiness is surprisingly affordable. Prices start at just $1 a square foot with 50,000 square feet of in-stock flooring ready for installation. Carpet, luxury vinyl, hardwood, if it's on the floor, it's priced to leave the store. Prices so low, they'll knock your socks off. Thank goodness you now have nice floors from McCrory Carpet One.
Your birth experience should feel like yours. Come meet the midwives who can make that happen. Meet Our Midwives is a free monthly open house at Olympic Medical Center where you can get to know our certified nurse midwives, tour our birth center, and start planning the birth that feels right for you. Join us the first Tuesday of every month at 5:30 p.m. in the Olympic Memorial Hospital Sunroom. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/meetourmidwives.
Well, Little League legal drama has now come to a close after two states came to blows over their team's right to compete in the upcoming Little League World Series. ABC's Hannah Butta explains.
A team from Oklahoma was disqualified from their regional tournament because one player did not live within a certain area required to be on the team. What cleared the way from a team from Texas to advance to the tournament. Parents of the Oklahoma team got a temporary restraining order, seemingly putting them back on the field. But a judge yesterday dissolved that order, sending Texas to the series. The Oklahoma parents insist their kids did nothing wrong.
From ABC News Tech Trends. Kalshi is facing a new lawsuit from the flight tracking service FlightAware. That company alleges Kalshi is using data from its website to allow people to wager on whether or not a flight will be canceled. FlightAware says that's a violation of its terms of service and that Kalshi didn't change its behavior after repeated requests to stop. It comes as prediction market apps like Kalshi face new calls from lawmakers to crack down on another style of market, the kind that allows people to bet on how far and fast wildfires will spread. Anthropic says it's going to weave new watermarks into every bit of text its AI models generate. The specialized code is invisible to the human eye and is meant to flag to computers that the text was either made entirely with AI or modified in some way using the technology. And Google CEO Sundar Pichai now says its Gemini artificial intelligence technology is being used by 1 billion people every month. It's the 14th Google product to hit 1 billion users. With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dabowski, ABC News.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Do you remember the nervous excitement of your first day of college? I just went to my 40th high school reunion. Can't believe it. I still remember those folks like it was yesterday. For today's incoming freshmen, that anxiety you and I probably felt now starts months earlier, online. Before freshmen ever set foot on campus, a lot of them now feel pressure to find their friends, even their roommates, through incoming class social media groups. Now, this sounds harmless enough, but a lot of these pages are in fact run by outside companies, not the schools. Some even charge a fee to post. Put another way, they're profiting off of kids' anxiety about being lonely. Here's the thing. You don't need your friends picked out before day one. I can almost guarantee you the best friends your kids are going to make are the ones they meet the old-fashioned way, face-to-face. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. Our country is at an all-time low in our morals and values. But just how did we get to this all-time low? I'll tell you that story after this important message.
Hello, Kelly Stewart here for Liberty Village. We are so excited to be part of this 32-acre American history attraction in southern Utah that transfers visitors back to the 18th century. By visiting Liberty Village, you will experience a unique educational journey that highlights the importance of America's founding ideals. Join us as we celebrate the history and heritage that unite us. To build future exhibits, they need your support. Your gift helps support live reenactments and education to inspire future generations. You can donate by getting a legacy brick or a single donation. Find out more at libertyvillage.org. The Green Dragon Tavern is opening soon on Target this fall with exact dates to be announced later this summer. See where the Founding Fathers met and discussed their beliefs. Like who? John Hancock and Paul Revere. To plan your experience, go to libertyvillage.org or call 435-275-2850 and schedule your tour. See you there.
According to all polls and studies, America as a nation is on a fast-track meltdown of moral decay. But just how did it happen? Well, scientists tell us the story of the boiling frog. They say, place a frog in a pot of boiling grease and he will jump right out. He knows it's hot and deadly and he wants out. But place that same frog into cool grease, getting warmer and warmer ever so slightly, and he will not even notice he's being cooked. And where are we today in America? We're being slowly cooked in our own grease of moral decay. We're way past warm and heading for the final boil. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Hello, Clallam County. This is Danny with Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels. I recently had the opportunity to assist a very elderly but very energetic woman here in our county. She had in her possession her husband's remains, who had passed years prior. She sent us a letter asking if we could help her pre-need funeral and cemetery services for herself and her deceased husband. She'd been stressing and worrying for far too long, wondering what would happen when she passed. It was such a joy to help her finalize her plans. It was so easy, too. She expressed to me over and over such feelings of peace and relief now that all that was taken care of. So let us help you today to achieve that same peace of mind by planning ahead, even if it is a simple plan. We're here to serve you. Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
Looking for the perfect place to call home? So was Greg when he and his wife found Lavender Meadows in Squim.
There's not many places where you can, out one side of your community, have a gorgeous national park like Olympic National Park, and then the Strait of Juan de Fuca on the other side. When we visited Lavender Meadows and saw that they had social events every week and potlucks and game nights, that's right up my alley.
Visit lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Stop by Potwood Treasure Trap. We're located in the front of Easy Pond in downtown Port Angeles. We have a fun selection of gifts to choose from. Everything from our best-selling leather journals to anime figures and fun pop culture gifts. We also have hard-to-find collectible swords for fantastic displays. And you've got to check out our adult humor section in our front mezzanine that's full of not safe for work gag gifts guaranteed to spark laughter. Easy Pawn in downtown Port Angeles.
News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The latest inflation numbers offering some cautiously encouraging news for American families.
New figures released today by the Labor Department shows inflation eased slightly in July. Consumer prices rose 3.4% compared to a year ago, down from 3.5% in June. On a month-to-month basis, prices increased just 0.1%. While that's still above the Federal Reserve's long-term target of 2%, the report suggests that some of the economic pressures that have worried policymakers and consumers in recent months may be beginning to moderate. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Look now at one of the closest watched races in Wisconsin's primary Tuesday.
In Wisconsin, Francesca Hong losing to Milwaukee County Executive moderate David Crowley by a percentage point. Even though she's a Democrat socialist, Bernie Sanders and AOC did not endorse her. Video had surfaced of Hong saying she hates holidays, including Thanksgiving, and then she backtracked, doing a new video saying it was her favorite holiday. Crowley is looking to become Wisconsin's first black governor. He faces Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany, who was endorsed by President Trump.
That is Laura Winters. The NBA's most valuable franchise has been sold for a record-breaking price.
The Los Angeles Lakers are being sold to businessmen Josh Kushner and Bob Iger for $12.5 billion, the second time in just over a year. The sale, first reported by ESPN, still needs approval from the NBA's Board of Governors, and that process can take several weeks. The Lakers were valued at $10 billion last year when Mark Walter purchased a controlling stake from the Buss family. Kushner and Iger had also been involved in trying to get an expansion team for Las Vegas, but by buying the Lakers, the two do not have to wait for that decision. If it happens, expansion could take place in the 2028-29 season. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
More at Town Hall.
Are you tired of feeling lousy? Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup or just walking hurts? When enough is enough, call PhD Weight Loss. When I had enough 4 years and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't do it alone. I'm Mike Gallagher for PhD Weight Loss. Best phone call I ever made. They were right with me. They still are today. Right now, mention Mike. You'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. $1,500 value. Call 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule at half the price of traditional marketplace plans. See why believers across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Many Mozart heist has blighted an anniversary tribute as thieves make off with more than 200 statuettes.
The gold statuettes of Austria's most famous composer disappeared from his hometown of Salzburg, officials say, leaving a tribute to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart on his 270th birthday considerably less crowded. The Mozarteum Foundation had on July 15 unveiled 320 statuettes, each barely 20 inches high, showing Mozart with his dog. They were designed by German conceptual artist Ottmar Hull.
That is Charles Taylor Desma. A high school football player in Arkansas got a bit of a scare when he found a venomous snake in his helmet during practice. He felt an unusual movement in the headgear and brought it to an assistant coach for inspection. The 2-foot cottonmouth was discovered behind some padding and was reluctant to exit the helmet. When it finally did, it was taken to a nearby woods and released. Breaking news at townhall.com. If you're the proud owner of a new Camry hybrid, you might want to pay heed.
Toyota's recalling about 655,000 Camry vehicles globally due to a display error that may deactivate safety indicators. Most of these cars were sold in the U.S., affecting over 508,000 model year 2025-2026 Camry hybrids. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the 7-inch display can become blank at startup, and that safety indicators like turn signals and hazard lights may also not function as a result. This increases crash risks. Toyota will notify owners to bring their vehicles to a dealer for a free software update. Keith Peters, Washington.
Search and rescue efforts continue today in dozens of cities and towns in western Colombia after a powerful earthquake struck the region on Monday. Some 3,000 people are still missing, and the experts usually give survivors up to 3 days to survive beneath all that rubble. More.
This is the News Radio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Wednesday, August 12th. The Port Angeles man wanted in connection with a domestic violence incident has been arrested following a 2-day search. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office says deputies received a citizen tip yesterday afternoon that 30-year-old Aaron Hatfield had been spotted near Marsden Road. A second tip then reported him in the 100 block of South Brook Avenue. Deputies say one of them located Hatfield in the yard of a private residence. Investigators say Hatfield ran at the deputy and collided with him, knocking both men to the ground. Hatfield then reportedly got back up and ran, with deputies pursuing him on foot. A deputy used a taser to stop Hatfield and take him into custody. A fixed-blade knife was found on him during the arrest. The deputy was not hurt. Hatfield had been sought since earlier this week when deputies responded to a home on South Bayview Avenue. The sheriff's office says Hatfield allegedly assaulted a person, damaged a ring camera with an axe, and broke a cell phone before fleeing into the woods while all armed with a knife. An extensive search involving deputies, Port Angeles police, a canine team, even a drone failed to find him yesterday or on Monday. Hatfield was arrested on allegations including third-degree assault against a police officer, resisting arrest, residential burglary involving domestic violence, assault in violation of a no-contact order, and malicious mischief. Sequim officially a little bigger after the city annexed Flores Acres this week. That's a 54-home neighborhood on the eastern edge of the downtown area. The annexation adds about 20 acres and about 100 people to the city. Flores Acres sits between the Shipley Center and Highway 101 along Still Road. Even though it has long been surrounded by city property, the neighborhood had remained part of Clallam County until the city council approved the change. The move helps clear the way for several major infrastructure projects. A $2.5 million State Department of Ecology loan, originally awarded to the county, will now go to the city to help fix that neighborhood's sewer system. Flores Acres also has a private water system. That will be replaced with homes eventually connecting to Sequim's municipal water system. On top of that, the city has secured $1.6 million in community development block grant funding for street and sidewalk improvements. The city and county and state departments of ecology and health all working together on the annexation and utility agreements. The full project expected to be wrapped up by the end of this year. Olympic National Park officials reporting that fire crews have put out the Sourdough Mountain Fire as of August 10th. The fire, which was first reported on August 5th, burned less than an acre on the southern slope of Sourdough Mountain near the Lake Crescent Solduck area. It was about a half-mile below the Aurora Ridge Trail. The cause of the fire determined to be lightning. Now, over this past weekend, Air Resources responded to increased activity on another fire, the Mount Tom Creek Fire. That was also a lightning-caused fire. It started back in late July. Water buckets were dropped on the fire on Monday. Fire behavior still minimal. Crews observing smoldering and roll out, but no open flames right now. Due to the increased fire activity and the dry vegetation, though, Stage 2 fire restrictions are still in effect. That means all campfires are prohibited in Olympic National Park and National Forest. Propane and gas stoves are allowed if operated at least 3 feet away from flammable vegetation or forest litter. More news after this. This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Realtor May Graves will break down the latest real estate trends for us in Clallam County. Then James Garlick is back to preview the upcoming Music on the Straight performances.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Peninsula Bottling, a presenting sponsor of the KONP Clallam County Fair broadcast, has goodies in store for you at our broadcast trailer Thursday, August 20th through Sunday, August 23rd. On Thursday, we're handing out Genji Popping Boba Tea. Friday, come grab a Lotus Energy drink. Saturday, quench your thirst with some Mountain Dew. And on Sunday, see us for a bag of community snack kettle cooked chips. Thank you, Peninsula Bottling and Pepsi, for being the official beverage of the Clallam County Fair and our presenting sponsor.
It's the 2025 model year closeout at Price Ford in Port Angeles.
Right now, you'll get rebates that are bigger than ever on all remaining 2025 Ford models. Plus, get the Price Ford discount on top of the rebates. Savings on top of savings. It's a great way to save big on the Ford you've been waiting for. But don't wait. When these 2025 models are gone, they're gone. Now is the time. Price Ford is a place during the 2025 model year closeout on now. Price Ford in Port Angeles.
In other news, the two candidates hoping to become Clallam County's next assessor highlighted their different backgrounds during yesterday's Port Angeles Business Association Candidate Forum as they compete for what is an open seat this year. Lee Hancock, who has worked in the assessor's office some 17 years, told the audience his experience in residential and commercial appraisal has prepared him to lead the department. Hancock says he wants to build on that experience by improving customer service and finding ways to make the office more efficient.
Assessor is, I enjoy real estate. I enjoy trying to make things more efficient, taking a look at existing legacy processes in the office and seeing what I can change. I'm real big on customer service, coming from a private background and working in retail banking.
His opponent, Antonio Price, is a farmer and blue-collar worker who's never held public office. Price acknowledged there would be a learning curve, but said he believes the assessor's office needs to do a better job connecting with the public.
What I hear when I talk to people is there's a disconnect between the civilians and blue collars and people in the office. And I would like to help either start a program with my own cash, to help show people what's going on and why there's a disconnect and why there's a separate.
During the forum, the candidates also discussed how property values are determined, why assessed values don't always translate directly into higher tax bills, and the use of technology in the office, staffing challenges, and whether the county assessor should hold professional appraisal certification. Clallam County Assessor oversees the valuation of taxable property throughout the county. Those assessments are used by local taxing districts to calculate property tax bills. A Port Angeles man escaped injury after the semi he was driving went over an embankment on Highway 101 near Mount Walker yesterday morning. The State Patrol says 23-year-old Jordan Abbott of PA was southbound near milepost 298 shortly before 5:40 a.m. when the truck went onto the shoulder, struck a guardrail, came to rest down the embankment. Abbott was not hurt and was wearing a seatbelt. Troopers say drugs or alcohol were not involved. The State Patrol listed the cause of the crash as the wheels leaving the road. Abbott was cited for second-degree negligent driving. Both the 2017 Peterbilt tractor and its trailer were totaled in that accident. Washington State Department of Transportation is moving most employees out of its aging Olympia headquarters because of structural and seismic safety concerns. Fewer than 50 employees now work there on an average day, compared with about 840 before the pandemic. WSDOT says workers have been directed to minimize time in the building and use telework or other state facilities around Thurston County. The building remains open, and an inspection after cracks were reported last November found no damage to structural columns. WSDOT says it's working with other state agencies on a long-term plan that could establish a headquarters at a different location. Deaths and serious injuries among children involved in Washington's child welfare system continue to decline this spring. The Department of Children, Youth and Families reports 6 children died, 5 suffered critical injuries from April through June in our state. During the first half of the year, there were 18 such cases, half the number recorded during the same period in 2025. State officials say the decline may be partly connected to fewer opioid overdose deaths and changes in child welfare practices. 4 incidents this year were linked to fentanyl, compared with 27 during all of last year. The state recorded a record number of child welfare deaths and critical injuries in 2025. This is News Radio KONP.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Concerts on the Pier invites you to a special event this Wednesday night, celebrating the people and the land we love, as we highlight our national parks with a special performance and interactive project from Olympic National Park. Enjoy a special performance by National Park Radio, and members of the park will create with you a Sound of the Park community composition art piece. Come celebrate our national parks Wednesday night at Concerts on the Pier. Concert starts at 6 p.m. at Port Angeles City Pier.
Hey families, are you ready for the Elks annual party in the park? This is Chris Ruley of the Naval Elks Lodge, inviting you to have a great time. Party in the park with the Good Time Kellys, face painting, red line laser tag, water games, hot dogs, and ice cream. A whole lot of fun, and it's all for free on August 16th from 12 to 4.
Bring the entire family to Party in the Park. The fun is Sunday, August 16th at Elks Playfield in Port Angeles, located at West 14th and Pine Street.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Mainly clear skies this afternoon with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 68. Northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, lows level off around 53. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, high of 71. Upper 60s Friday and Saturday with a chance for isolated showers Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 70 Sunday, 71 Monday, and 68 on Tuesday. Once again, high of 68 today, low of 53 tonight, a high of 71 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 60.
This News Radio KONP News Hour is brought to you by Century 21 Real Estate Center, built on relationships.
Baseball Tuesday, the Rays romped over the A's 12-4 for their 8th consecutive victory. 6 Tampa Bay long balls. Taylor Wells hit 2 of them. Junior Caminero hit number 35 to tie for the league lead. The Rays now just a half game behind Milwaukee for the best record in all of baseball. The Padres pounded the Brewers 11-2. Luis Rengifo with a grand slam against his old club. Dodgers trimmed the Royals 5-4 in 10 innings. Max Muncy, the walk-off hero, singling in Shohei Ohtani. Reds came back from down 4-0 to shade the White Sox 5-4 in 10. Braves blanked the Mets 4-0. Martin Perez extended his scoreless string to 18 innings, combining on a 4-hitter. Marlins plundered the Pirates 2-0. Yuri Perez, no relation, but just as good, he had a combo 4-hitter. Cardinals shut out the Phillies 2-0 behind Andre Palante and the Paladins. Cubs overpowered the Nationals 8-6. Each team hit 3 home runs. Pete Crow Armstrong smacked number 27. C.J. Abrams number 29 for D.C. Orioles topped the Twins 5-2. 3 hits, including a home run for Pete Alonso, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Gunnar Henderson.
The confidence back has been a big thing, and I felt like the past week it's just I haven't been able to find grass anywhere, and then finally was able to get one to go in the first, and then felt great after that.
Yankees got 2-run hits in the 7th from Ryan McMahon and Trent Grisham to harpoon the Mariners 4-1. Seattle has dropped 5 in a row and 14 of 19. Blue Jays handed the Red Sox their 4th straight L, 5-3, but Boston did get to see its big deadline acquisition, Adley Rutschman, suit up. He reached base 3 times in his first game off the injured list. Wins for the Giants, Rockies, Angels, and Tigers. That's Wednesday Sports.
From supply lists to shoe shopping to juggling all the schedules, getting ready for back to school isn't exactly magical. Luckily, the Great Clips app kinda is. With just a few taps, you can find a salon near you. Tap check-in when you're ready, and you can get a message when it's your turn. Oh, and the savings? You won't believe them. So when it's time for back-to-school haircuts, tap into the magic of the Great Clips app and make at least some of your stress disappear. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Welcome to Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored this time by Brown's Outdoor. This is Alan Barnard, and this Volunteer Spotlight shines on all who take the time and effort to clean up Port Angeles and surrounding areas. The many volunteer groups and individuals who continually clean up and pick up all manner of trash and debris discarded throughout the city play a valuable and irreplaceable part in maintaining our quality of life. There are organized groups dedicated to cleaning up streets, creeks, valleys, and beaches, plus individuals walking along their chosen areas with buckets and trash grabbers taking the initiative to do what they can to pick up trash along our roads. Too many to call out individually. We are highlighting all who work hard to clean up our area and offer a huge thank you for your selfless efforts. This Volunteer Spotlight is brought to you by Brown's Outdoor, serving your family for over 100 years.
Sure, Grocery Outlet in Port Angeles is known for incredible savings, but that's only part of the story. You'll find trusted brands like Best Foods, Kraft, and more at prices that can save you 40 to 70%.
off your grocery bill. They even have pet food from brands like Pedigree at huge discounts. Best of all, local owners John and Melanie are committed to giving back, helping local families and community organizations. Grocery Outlet. Big savings. Local heart.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. More stocks are up than down today. That's as traders celebrate today's July Consumer Price Index report showing subdued retail inflation. Kava Group sales rising faster than expected due to increased traffic and customers buying higher priced proteins and extras like pita chips and salmon. Sales did slow at the end of the second quarter due to reports of a parasitic outbreak, but trends have improved since. We have a reading that shows mortgage rates eased a little, the Mortgage Bankers Association says. The average rate on the 30-year fixed loan slipped last week to 6.77% from 6.81% the week before. That was the highest in a year. And Google's Pixel smartphones have sold decently in recent years, in part because they undercut rival phones from Apple and Samsung on price. Now Google's just unveiled slate of Pixel 11 phones average $100 more than last year's models. Standard Pixel 11, $899. Pro models are more. A foldable one is $1,899. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
During our month-long Labor Day sale at Angelus Furniture, you can save up to $1,000 on Beauty Rest Black Hybrid Select mattresses and base sets. Rest in luxury in our most advanced and individualized mattress. You can also save up to $500 on the Beauty Rest World Class. Experience premier support plus motion separation. Get the refreshing sleep you deserve tonight on your brand new Beauty Rest, only at Angelus Furniture, now through September 14th.
Leeds Farm Supply is your local equipment dealer. But did you know that it's the only locally owned service center too? Leeds services the tractors, mowers, trailers, and other equipment they sell, along with brands like Kubota and John Deere. Leeds has 2 trained techs to take care of any size machine, competitive pricing, a fully stocked parts department, and a quick turnaround. Call or text 360-452-1400 and talk to Jeremiah for all your service needs. Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales, your local farm store, and so much more.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
All right, interesting phones going on here. We're going to see if we can do this, but we'll head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center, and Steve's standing by for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, busy afternoon. If you're trying to make your way around the Port Angeles area, at least, yeah, you're going to find a lot of traffic right now between the ferry and just traffic coming into downtown. It is busy down there. Good news, our traffic signal at 5th and Lincoln, it is actually functioning like a traffic signal now. Got all 3 colors working, so pay attention to that as you pull up to the stops. It's not just flashing red anymore, so just be careful at that intersection for a while. If you're on Highway 101 between Port Angeles and Sequim, no real problems out there. It is definitely busy, slow going through our construction area at Lee's Creek and Baker, but after that you should be fine. Traffic is moving along pretty close to the speed limit beyond that. Right now, Hood Canal Bridge good to go. Nothing scheduled for this afternoon for marine openings. State ferries currently running on time today. If you're headed out to the west end, we're in good shape out to the Forks area. Busy out of Port Angeles to the Lake Crescent area, so be careful out there. Beyond that, just right at the speed limit all the way into the Forks. A couple construction areas at Laird's Corner and also at Mansfield Road just before the city of Forks. So everybody take care, be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Going to see a chance of some showers or a thunderstorm this afternoon, just a slight chance. Clearing out though as we head through the night tonight. Lows will be low to mid-50s overnight. Sunshine back tomorrow. Highs in the 70s. Going to be a sunny to start out the day on Friday. Then partly sunny with a chance of showers by afternoon. And highs again around 70. Right now it is 67 in Port Townsend. 74 out west at Forks. Sequim's got 70 now. And the cool spot is Port Angeles, where it's 63 degrees officially out at Fairchild Airport at last check. All right, space loves punishing people who try to enter it. Muscles atrophy, bone density wanes, even eyes start to get a little wonky when people spend a lot of time in space. Researchers say if humans are going to Mars, deep space radiation will need to be dealt with too. Researchers examined how the Apollo astronauts fared decades after their missions in the 60s and 70s. The astronauts suffered higher than normal rates of cardiovascular problems and related deaths, and deep space radiation was the leading culprit. See, on Earth, we have our atmosphere and magnetosphere to protect us from the more harmful cosmic rays that bounce around our solar system. But once we're out in space, no such protections exist, and astronauts simply have to bear them. All right, let's get a Consumer Tech Minute next from Kim Commando. Remember, Kim's show comes your way Saturday mornings, 9 to noon here on KONP.
The big social media companies on the planet just got the news that they've been dreading. The reckoning they built for themselves. And plenty of us, me included, say it's well-deserved.
I'm Kim Commando for Splash of AI. Every Thursday, I show regular people how to use AI to solve real problems, save money, and get ahead. It's free at splashofai.com.
On Monday, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that roughly 2,400 federal lawsuits against Meta, TikTok, Google, and Snap can move forward. Thousands more are lined up in state court. Who's suing? School districts, states, parents, families whose kids suffered real, lasting harm, some who lost their children, to algorithms engineered to keep them hooked. These social media companies claimed they could not be sued. The court said, "Oh, yes, you can." The next trial, it starts tomorrow. Their motto was move fast and break things. The bill for the breakage arrived, and it's billions of dollars. Want the stories that big tech hopes that you'll miss? Go right now to sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com.
Everyone's talking about artificial intelligence, but most of what you're hearing is either hype or hype around more hype. I'm Kim Commando, and every Thursday, I will cut right through it just for you. It's my new free newsletter. I called it Splash of AI, and it shows regular people how AI is actually saving time and real money right now. We're talking thousands of dollars, hours back in your week, and real tools that you can start using today, even if you're not a tech person. And of course, there's no jargon, there's no fluff, just the stuff that actually works, explained in plain English the way that only I can do it. And it's totally free. It lands in your inbox every single Thursday. And once you read it, you'll wonder how you managed without it. So sign up right now while you're thinking about it. Go to splashofai.com. Artificial intelligence is not going away. It's only going to get more intrusive in your life. You need to know what's going on, and my free newsletter will help you out. So sign up right now at splashofai.com. That's splashofai.com. Your Thursday mornings are about to get a whole lot smarter.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, I'll explain a key factor that's proven to make you half as likely to abuse drugs and alcohol or even get a divorce. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What is the strongest predictor of whether you'll flourish in life and reach your greatest, happiest potential? According to new Harvard research, it boils down to whether or not you go to church on a regular basis. In fact, researchers found that regularly attending religious services is the strongest predictor of flourishing in life. It makes you less likely to divorce or abuse drugs and alcohol. And to be clear, flourishing is a term psychologists use to describe people who are generally happy, enjoying deep, fulfilling relationships with others, and finding meaning. The biggest reason church helps is the strong social network where most people feel supported and encouraged, and where conversations often get much deeper than just small talk. Plus, churchgoers are the most likely to be doing charity work and giving back to their community, and that contributes to people having a deeper sense of purpose and direction in life. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, realtor May Graves will break down the latest real estate trends for us in Clallam County. Then James Garlick is back to preview the upcoming Music on the Straight performances.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy Farmers Insurance.
Peninsula Bottling, a presenting sponsor of the KONP Clallam County Fair broadcast, has goodies in store for you at our broadcast trailer Thursday, August 20th through Sunday, August 23rd. On Thursday, we're handing out Genji Popping Boba Tea. Friday, come grab a Lotus Energy drink. Saturday, quench your thirst with some Mountain Dew. And on Sunday, see us for a bag of community snack kettle cooked chips. Thank you, Peninsula Bottling and Pepsi, for being the official beverage of the Clallam County Fair and our presenting sponsor.
The North Peninsula's news, the North Peninsula's talk. News Radio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump in a social media post announcing that Caroline Leavitt will leave her role as White House press secretary at the end of this month. Leavitt is the youngest person to serve as press secretary, and she and her husband just welcomed their second child over the summer. Results from yesterday's primary races across 6 states still being tallied. In South Carolina, the vote too close in the GOP Senate race. ABC's Jay O'Brien says there's now a runoff.
Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, failed to win more than 50% of the vote in the Republican primary to replace her brother on the November ballot, despite the complete and total support of the president.
I've been accused of not being a politician. Guilty as charged.
ABC News now projecting Graham will advance to a runoff against Republican Congressman Ralph Norman.
In Wisconsin, moderate Democrat David Crowley edging out progressive candidate Francesca Hong in the governor's race. Search and rescue efforts continuing in Colombia following the major earthquake Monday. International aid arriving. At least 240 deaths are confirmed. ABC's Faith Abube is in the town of Cali.
Emergency crews working around the clock in a race against time to find survivors. A woman pulled from the rubble after being trapped for 36 hours under a collapsed building. People here clinging onto these moments of hope as officials say thousands of people are still missing, including 239 believed to be trapped beneath the rubble in hard-hit Cali.
Following torrential rain over the past 2 days in the Midwest, communities in Ohio and Indiana under flash flood alerts. In Gary, Indiana, Mayor Eddie Melton says crews are working as fast as they can to restore power.
Trees uprooted, roadways blocked, significant power outages, but public safety been working around the clock, just like many other communities throughout Northwest Indiana.
You're listening to ABC News.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Attorney General Todd Blanche holding his first news conference today after being sworn in. Blanche insisting that plans to create a so-called anti-weaponization fund has dead, that the fund was initially created to offer compensation for those who felt they were targeted by the Biden administration's Justice Department.
I have testified under oath that it's dead. I have testified in front of the House where I wasn't under oath, where I said it was dead. I have answered questions after my hearing where I said that it was dead. I have rescinded the order that set up the weaponization fund, which means that it does not exist.
Critics say those who were prosecuted for the January 6th attack on the Capitol would also have been eligible. A major university is making big changes to its grading protocol for some incoming freshmen. ABC's Hannah Battah has more.
Beginning next fall, instead of getting an A, B, C, or D, some first-semester freshmen at the University of Michigan will get only a pass or no credit. and neither designation will count toward their GPA. The university says this will allow students to explore a subject that may not come easily to them or take a course in a new field without the fear that a low grade may have long-term consequences. The school says the goal is to help students start strong and curb the mental health crisis unfolding among college-aged individuals.
The pilot program applies to students enrolled in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hi everyone, it's Alicia Campion with Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative. We're a worker-owned cooperative. Our caregivers are owners, focused on dignity, trust, and supporting loved ones at home. Accepting care is about independence, not weakness. We care and support the life someone has already built. Join our team or trust us with your loved one's care. We're Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, with you at home. Call 360-504-3837.
It's the 2025 model year closeout at Price Ford in Port Angeles. Right now, you'll get rebates that are bigger than ever on all remaining 2025 Ford models. Plus, get the Price Ford discount on top of the rebates. Savings on top of savings. It's a great way to save big on the Ford you've been waiting for. But don't wait. When these 2025 models are gone, they're gone. Now is the time. Price Ford is a place during the 2025 model year closeout on now. Price Ford in Port Angeles.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. A 30-year-old man wanted in connection with a domestic violence incident was arrested after a 24-hour search. Deputies say Aaron Hatfield fled on foot before he was stopped with a taser on Tuesday afternoon. He faces several new allegations now. In Olympic National Park, crews have extinguished the lightning-caused Sourdough Mountain fire. The Mount Tom Creek fire remains active, but showing minimal behavior. Stage 2 fire restrictions still in effect for the park and national forest. That bans campfires. And Sequim is getting bigger. The city has annexed Flores Acres, adding about 20 acres and about 100 residents. Project includes upgrades to sewer, wastewater, streets, and sidewalks, backed with about $4 million in grant funding.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Bright sunshine this afternoon with a high of 68. Northwesterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, lows level off around 54. Tomorrow, highs level off around 71. Upper 60s Friday and Saturday with a slight chance for rain Friday. A peek at the extended shows, 70 Sunday, 71 Monday, and 68 on Tuesday. Another look at the short range. We should top off around 68 today, a low of 54 tonight, high of 71 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 64.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right. Welcome once again to the program. Going to spend the first few minutes here, at least, of our first segment, talking with May Graves, our real estate pro. Once a month or so, we have May come in when she doesn't send her assistant in. So we get May 2 months in a row. I've gotten you now in this hot seat.
Next month.
Oh well, I like that. Anyway, to talk about what's going on in real estate here in Clallam County, and she jokingly said, "Well, it's crazy right now. It's up, it's down, it's sideways, it's straight." Curvy, it's everything, right?
It's all of the above. Like, I have really good stories for my coffee table book that I'm going to write someday.
Very good.
But, yeah, you know, I don't think the market's crashing. Like, I'm an optimist. There you'll see a lot of headlines, but like I say often, the headlines are there to terrify more than clarify. Mm-hmm. Gets more clicks online and whatnot. However, rates are the highest they've been in a year. They've been creeping up for several years. And so, you know, the sellers who are on the market pretty much have to sell. They're those things like, you know, that we talk about. They have to sell. But the buyers, they've got interest rates in the 2s and 3s, 4s. They're like, we don't have to buy, let's wait. Because can you imagine a mortgage payment going from 4% to 8%?
Yeah, I mean, you're doubling your interest rate, basically.
We're not at 8 yet, but they're in the high 6s.
It's getting sick. It's significant. It's significant.
I was talking to a lender yesterday, and she said, don't tell anybody this, so I'm going to broadcast it.
Go ahead.
She said, I'm a lender and I would love to have a new house, but I am not going to commit to these rates right now. My rate is 2.5%. I'm not doing it. And I'm like, gosh, and that's coming from a lender, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So all that to say, I have one neighborhood that we sell 2 to 3 houses per month in that neighborhood consistently, you know, month over month, year over year, very consistent. There are 4 in escrow and 18 on the market.
Really? Okay. So what's driving that trend?
Well, okay, so think about it. Let's say we sell 3 every month and there's 18 on the market. That means it's going to be 6 months for some of those homes to sell, right? So what do you do to be the one that gets chosen at the dance? It's so important to market correctly, get somebody who's going to market. Staging, I think, is huge. Good pictures, video, all of that kind of stuff. Posting it on things like YouTube and on social media so that more eyes see it, because it's kind of the garnish. You know, flat pictures on a post is one thing, or on a listing, but if they see all the different senses, there's music, there's narration, there's video, all those things, it adds to it and helps. And then pricing it right.
Right. And we've talked about this in the past. You've got a bunch of in a single kind of neighborhood area, so all of them are kind of starting on an even playing field, more or less. You've got to set yourself above what else is in that neighborhood.
It's one neighborhood. Yeah. Yes. Like you could say, some towns would call it like an HOA or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's one neighborhood, very distinct. So if somebody's looking for a house with those amenities, they
got a lot of choices right there, right?
But they've got 18 to choose from. So it's a supply and demand thing. There's only 3 people writing offers in 18. You know, how do you get in front of those 3 people writing the offer?
Okay, so what is your advice? I'm going to go back to what you just started on. You've got a seller, somebody who's something's happened in their life. They're having to move. They have to sell this house. But then, on the other side, getting a buyer to match up with that might be difficult.
Pricing it right the first time is super important. And I know I've said this before, but I don't think a lot of people realize how important this is. So we have 2 MLSs. The MLS is the multiple listing service, and it's where all the realtors catalog all their homes for sale. And that's the only way that these platforms online see them, like Zillow and Trulia and Redfin, all those, is we put them in the MLS, and then we have an agreement with all those platforms to push it out so they can see all of our inventory so people can shop online. So there's hundreds, I mean, who knows, there might be 1,000, like hundreds of places online. However, we have 2 MLSs locally that a good portion of realtors belong to one, a good portion belong to the other, some overlap and belong to both. I belong to both. So I can see the data in both MLSs. So if I'm preparing what we call a market analysis for you, I can look at both groups of in the MLS and tell you, like, I can see the whole picture. But some realtors can't. They can only look in their MLS. They don't know. So you can see how it could get quickly skewed if we only sell 40 houses a month and a majority of them are high end, then the median home price is going to look like X. If they were low end anyway. So I think there's prices, that's why you're seeing so many price adjustments right now, is that prices are all over the board because it's hard to find a clear picture.
Are you struggling to find the sweet spot in some places?
Homes over $1 million are sitting. Actually, I would say homes over 800,000 are sitting. Now, we don't have a ton of those in Port Angeles. There seem to be more in Sequim, and a lot of them are sitting. We're seeing price reductions. I literally have 2 homes right now in that 800 to 900 range that are just teetering. Like, the buyers are like, well, we want it. We didn't find anything wrong in the inspection. The appraisal's okay, but man, we don't like the interest rate. We're going to try to find a way out.
As a lot of the buying that's happening right now, cash buyers, people who've got the money, so they don't have to worry about this mortgage stuff.
Not a lot. We usually see about 40% pretty consistently. Sometimes as low as 25% when rates are down. But as rates go up, we see more cash buyers. but it never really hits like the 50% mark. There is this misconception. People are like, oh, the Californians are coming with a fistful of dollars.
And that's not really happening, right?
No, because
it's part of it is everything's equaling out somewhat, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so Washington real estate is getting close in value to what California is in some places. At least.
I have a house on the market right now, and she's an agent in Malibu, like the richest zip code anywhere, where all the fires and all that were. And she said it's very soft there too, and they're seeing a lot of price reductions.
So, aside from having a magic wand to wave, what are you telling folks generally about things with the market being kind of weird right now?
Really, we got to get the price right. And, I tell them it's your house. I'm going to give you the data. And the data doesn't lie. Like, I don't get to price your house. The market is going to price your house. So there's 3 parties in every transaction. There's the buyer, the seller, and the market. And guess what? He will not be ignored.
Right.
To quote an 80s movie line.
It's very true, though, because you can start negotiating all you want, but eventually that market's going to speak, right?
It's true.
Because one will pop up somewhere else and will dictate what that price.
Yeah, and if there's an appraisal, the appraiser is going to look at homes that have sold recently that are similar in age, size, location, all of that. And if they can't find comps to uphold our value, they're not trying to say it's not true. They have to prove it is true.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned that the pricier homes, the more expensive ones, are sitting right now. Is there anything that's moving, though, even in spite of this?
Yes, lots of homes are moving. We're selling a ton of homes still. It's just a little bit slow. Okay, here's a great example. David James on my team. David's also a home builder, but he's primarily a realtor. He wrote an offer on a house last week and was so excited to put this offer in. They got multiple offers. And he's like, yeah, we didn't get it. I thought for sure we'd get it. We were cash, but we were just a little bit under full price. He said, we didn't get it. There were 3 offers, and it went pending at full price. So multiple offers, and they just got full price.
Unheard of, right?
Right.
Because
usually that pushes
somebody's going to go above that just to get in, if nothing else.
Right, even a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If I'm selling a house, it's not that I have a choice really as to what it is, but what is selling right now mostly? I mean, what am I going to have the best luck if I do have to put one on the market?
Yeah, kind of that sweet spot. Actually, the median home price has come down a little bit in Sequim. Port Angeles is holding firm a little more, but they're not gaining. So, back in the olden days, like during the unicorn years, we were seeing prices go up 1.5% per month. Now we're seeing them go up about 1.5% per year. So it's
not a bad idea for some people because, value-wise, I guess you don't want to see that. But when you start talking about tax rates and you start talking about things like affordability of getting into a house, maybe some people are saying, finally those prices aren't skyrocketing like they were.
Right. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is when interest rates go up, house prices come down. When interest rates come down, that becomes that feeding frenzy and the house prices go up. So
a lot of this is temporary where it sits, right?
It is, right. And I don't watch the news. I can't.
I don't blame you.
But I've heard, or seen people posting things saying, we're not going to see rates come down until we have a new administration. Could be, I don't know. And so that will cause some people to just put their checkbook back away and say, well, let's just ride this out. And it'll cause other people to say, we better do it now before they get higher. So it's really just been a roller coaster for about 3 years. We call it kind of a balanced market. Some days I'm like, well, here we go. It says we're in a buyer's market now. But then I look the next morning, I'm like, oh, well, now we're in a seller's market.
And you're not really exaggerating this, are you? No, it's literally day to day right now as to the feel of this market.
It is. So, so I would say if you had to sell, make sure you listen to your agent, get all the data, ask if it's coming from both MLSs. You can literally go online too and look at places like Zillow. Like, we love to hate Zillow, but they are a source of data. So you can look on there and see how your house kind of compares to other things. Make sure you're pricing it right. And then make sure you're getting good quality pictures, video, staging. You know, if you're not living there, if you're living there, that's a little hard to do.
And May is an expert on all this kind of stuff as well, which I always encourage people. And I know you're willing to just chat people up, even if you're not going to take them on as a client. You will be glad to give them some advice.
We're not able to onboard everybody, obviously, because, you know, if I took every client on, some of them would fall off the plate and nobody would be happy. But absolutely love to talk to people and just give them kind of my take on things and where we are in the market. And they can always just reach out to me and call me. That's what I always say.
All right. Give us your number again.
Okay. It's 360-461-1922.
And we have that down here if you missed it.
Yeah.
May, it's great to see you as always. Enjoy the sun. I think it's coming back out for a little bit, and we'll chat next month.
Sounds good. Thanks, Todd.
May Graves, our real estate pro. We get her in here just to give a little analysis on the local real estate market about once a month. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk a little bit about music on the straight, which is opening night at the Opera is the theme when we come back after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Have you ever clicked get a quote online and suddenly your phone acts like it owes someone money? 20 calls a day, numbers you've never seen, and not one of them local? I'm Dan Shappy with Farmers Insurance. If you're tired of mystery callers trying to sell you insurance, try something different. Talk directly to a real local agent who actually lives here. No robocalls, no strangers. We are real people helping real people right here at home.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Concerts on the Pier invites you to a special event this Wednesday night, celebrating the people and the land we love, as we highlight our national parks with a special performance and interactive project from Olympic National Park. Enjoy a special performance by National Park Radio, and members of the park will create with you a Sound of the Park community composition art piece. Come celebrate our national parks Wednesday night at Concerts on the Pier. Concert starts at 6 p.m. at Port Angeles City Pier.
Looking for the perfect place to call home? So was Greg when he and his wife found Lavender Meadows in Sequim.
There's not many places where you can, out one side of your community, have a gorgeous national park like Olympic National Park, and then the Strait of Juan de Fuca on the other side. When we visited Lavender Meadows and saw that they had social events every week and potlucks and game nights, that's right up my alley.
Visit lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Home affordability. Yes, it does exist here on the peninsula with Mountain View Homes. Looking for a quality craftsmanship home at 40% less than stick-built? Call Mountain View Homes. We specialize in affordable homes with full-service land packages, dirt to turnkey, quality, beautiful, and an efficient manufactured home on the site of your choice. Mountain View Homes has 3 locations to serve you, including Carlsberg. Visit mtviewhomes.com. That's mtviewhomes.com.
Straight View Credit Union has been serving the Port Angeles area for nearly 90 years. The recent partnership merger with Great Northwest Federal Credit Union will bring exciting new products while maintaining the same team, location, and quality of service you've come to expect. We are anchored in the people helping people principle that sets credit unions apart. Federally insured by NCUA. Straight View, a division of Great Northwest Federal Credit Union, where community comes together.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our 49th birthday, and we're celebrating by giving you the gifts. Outstanding savings on saltwater hot spring spas, free Bluetooth music, and interest-free financing for 3 years. Plus, exciting savings on endless pool swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges. How's that for a birthday to remember? Ends August 24th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
All right, my next segment here, we've got James Garlick back, who is here to talk about music on the straight. And a little opening night at the Opera is the theme this year. And fast approaching. Last time we had James on, we were kind of just talking about, it's coming up. But here you are. You're a week away, basically, from the big festival. So good to see you again.
Good to see you, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about what opens up on the 22nd.
Yeah, we're so excited about opening night. We're calling it a night at the Opera.
we're it's not really an opera, but what it is we're Music on the Straight. We have small groups of great world-class musicians coming together, making music, not unlike your band. Yep. Just people doing their thing and loving it. But what we're doing for the first time this year, we're bringing in a vocalist, a singer to join us. And that's going to be the basis for our opening night at the opera, where we are playing some wonderful pieces for string quartet and mezzo-soprano. And we're also sharing for the very first time in the world a new premiere of a piece by our composer in residence who just won the Pulitzer Prize. We're really excited
and we
about
talked
that.
a little bit about this last time you were
Yeah.
in. Why don't you fill folks in on kind of how this came together?
Sure. Well, actually, last year, Gabriella Lena Frank is her name. She was a composer in residence last summer. She's just a brilliant person, creative force, and really wonderful person to collaborate with. She came out to the Peninsula last year, connected with audiences, just fell in love with this place, and started getting inspired to make music and art based on this region. Mm-hmm. And so we decided, we were just talking about ways to collaborate, and it worked out that she could pretty quickly develop a premiere for us to share this operatic piece, a version of it for small group string quartet plus voice. And it's a really big deal. Because she just won the Pulitzer Prize about a couple months ago, and she just had her big opera debut at the Metropolitan Opera. She will be sharing that same piece at Seattle Opera next season. And so the ability to write something for us to premiere here, it was a great opportunity.
How cool is that, though?
It is so cool.
I mean, it's just kind of a next level thing for you. I mean, for coming out of your festival, your little old festival here in Port Angeles. Right?
It's so much fun. And what I love about this is just the creative energy that we have here in this place that is so different than, I think, other cities and other parts of the world where musicians, composers, people want to come here and they want to make something. And they're inspired by the beauty, and they're inspired by the people here that are open-minded and excited by what we're doing. That's the fun part.
And I think that's a little bit why it's easy for you perhaps to pick up the phone and call some of your musician contacts / friends and say, hey, I do this thing out in Port Angeles. Want to come?
Exactly. It's a really easy pitch and people are always saying, how did you get this artist to come out? How do they're booked 5 years out and they said no to all these big places. But it's because people make meaningful connections here, and they connect with our audience in this place and with each other, and that's what makes it different. It's hard to exactly quantify, but I think we all know what makes this place special, and it's neat to see it grow in a way that other people are taking notice of as well.
It's hard to say no to you, though, too, James. If you picked up the phone and called me, I probably couldn't say no. So, all right. For those who know nothing about Music on the Straight, let's give a kind of an overview of that. Yeah. How many years now are you in?
We started in 2018, so we're getting closer to that 10-year mark. It feels like just a couple of years. Feels like we just started, but we started in 2018. I started with my co-artistic director, Richard O'Neill. He grew up in Sequim. I grew up in Port Angeles. We both knew each other playing in the North Olympic Youth Symphonies and Port Angeles Symphony. Had a lot of these amazing teachers in this community to raise us. So where we became musicians. And then we went off in the world and did things, and we both come back to this place. It all started when we came back to play with the Port Angeles Symphony in 2016, and we did a piece together and really just connected in a deep way and decided to try this experiment with some friends, come out in the summertime, see what it's like. And it was just kind of a trial, but it grew so naturally and organically that we've just kept it going every year since. We're getting some of the greatest musicians around coming out here every summer, and now we're starting to expand more into the non-summer months as well.
Right, because if anyone's followed things, every once in a while you hear us talk about a Music on the Street series that might be in February, for example, or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. We had, so this year we'll have a November 1st program, one in December, a holiday baroque again, and a lot of things throughout the year, which it's really nice to expand just on the summer festival model.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about the summer festival part right now a little bit more. So tell us a bit more about why folks ought to come to this at Field Hall.
Come check it out. It's just going to be a great night. We're offering just $5 choose your own price tickets, or pay what makes you happy, we're calling it. Please come check it out, even if you don't think you're into classical music. It's fun to just see people doing their thing on stage, excited.
And the caliber you're going to see is also, I think, well worth it. You will be intrigued, if nothing else, by just watching virtuosity happening.
I think you will. I think, and bring your family, bring your friends. We want everybody to come check this out. And we also have a bunch of fun pre-concert events up in the Sunset Lounge. We have students from the Olympic Strings Workshop that are going to be performing pre-concert, and we have our really popular pre-concert talks with Lisa Bergman from Seattle's King FM. Those are upstairs. You can get food and drink a new wine collaboration we had with Camaraderie Cellars, and then you can come check out the show after that. It's
pretty inexpensive night, actually, when you think about it in the long run.
It is. It's really important to us to just break down the barriers for accessibility for anyone, and just we want you to come check us out, and we're confident that you'll come back if you come try it. So we don't really care about making money on this. We want you to come and have a meaningful experience.
And it's a beautiful facility to do this kind of music in, too.
It is. It's a fantastic spot. There's nothing, you can't beat it. Summer in Port Angeles, right on the waterfront. You see the mountains and the water, and you step inside a beautiful concert hall with great acoustics. Nothing like it.
All right, tell us all who's playing with you. We talked a bit about the operatic part of this thing, but you've got a cadre of people coming.
We do. We've got we have a couple of my dear friends from Minnesota. We have Maya Papach, the principal violist of the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, incredible musician, and one of my dearest friends. She's coming with her family. My other friend from Minnesota, Silver Enome, he's an Estonian cellist. He is just the most incredibly elegant and understated player you'll ever see. He makes it look like it's nothing at all, but he's just a beautiful artist and a great person to work with. August Beck, the wunderkind pianist who joined us in April, he's back. He's really one of the top musical talents I've ever witnessed. Jeremy Denk brought him to our attention as one of the best young pianists he'd seen in decades. And so he grew up in Seattle. You're going to be hearing a lot more of him, and he's just one of the up-and-coming talents of his generation, and we're excited to have him come back. Kristen Lee, my dear friend and violinist and artistic director of Emerald City Music in Seattle and Olympia, and soloist and artist all around the world. She's returning again this year. She came and made her debut last summer, and we're excited to have her because Kristen and I are doing a lot more playing together, but kind of collaborations between Music on the Straight and Emerald City Music. We're doing some string quartet programs. You'll hear more about that in November and beyond. Some programs where we're going to just keep building our chemistry together. And she's just incredible talent and a visionary musically. And then lastly, our mezzo-soprano Abigail Nims joining us. She's an internationally renowned singer, opera singer and artist based in Boulder, Colorado. And then our composer in residence, Gabriella Lena Frank.
And your program has a little bit of highlight for everybody that you just talked about, right?
Yes. We open with these songs that are talking about love and loss and really just connecting you to the raw passion of the human experience, I think. And then we'll finish with this incredible piece for piano and quartet by Arnaud Dochniani. It's just this tempestuous piece that will just have you on your feet at the end. I think everyone will really love it. You should come check it out.
Your programs are always spectacular and not to be missed, and this will be another one, I'm certain. Tickets are, it's pay what you will. $5 get you into probably, this is world class.
It really is. These are $100 tickets, but we just want the community to come fill up the hall, come check it out. So you can start at $5. You can pay whatever you think it's worth it to be there, but we just want you to come experience it. yourself.
Yeah,
See.
in little old Port Angeles in a
Oh.
terrific spot. It's always great to get you and everybody you bring over from your travels around the world too, because we get the advantage of all these connections you've made being such a great musician that you are. So
It's such a privilege. It's the honor of my life just to work with these people in the town that I grew up in. It's such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to come home once in a while, right?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
All right, you can go to Field Hall's website and you can get some more info, right, about this,
Yep.
or you can go to your website.
Musiconthestraight.org. You can get tickets. You can also visit Field Hall's ticket office for opening night on the 22nd. We also have one more program on the 30th with Jeremy Dank and the Takac Quartet. That's another one not to miss.
Okay, so come to both.
Come to both.
Yeah,
please.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They're two different different shows and both spectacular. James, always great to talk to you. Have some fun with all of this.
Thank you,
Not
Todd.
that you wouldn't, but I don't have
tried
to tell you that. James Garlick, who is one of the co-founders of Music on the Straight, and it's coming up on August 22nd, and then again on the 23rd, or 30th, I should say, the next weekend. And you can get more info at their website and pick up some tickets and get there and enjoy some terrific classical music. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Todd.
See you
It's
again.
a pleasure.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Peninsula Bottling, a presenting sponsor of the KONP Clallam County Fair broadcast, has goodies in store for you at our broadcast trailer Thursday, August 20th through Sunday, August 23rd. On Thursday, we're handing out Genji Popping Boba Tea. Friday, come grab a Lotus Energy drink. Saturday, quench your thirst with some Mountain Dew. And on Sunday, see us for a bag of community snack kettle cooked chips. Thank you, Peninsula Bottling and Pepsi, for being the official beverage of the Clallam County Fair and our presenting sponsor.
As each season changes, one thing stays the same. Airport Garden Center is always here to help your yard and garden grow. Airport Garden Center opened for business in 1977 as a pet, plant, and feed store by Eldora and Floyd Matthews. The family-run operation continues with Mark and Betsy Matthews passionately managing the business to this day. Their family provides your family quality service, products, and expert advice for a fun, rewarding, pet and child-friendly shopping atmosphere. We love helping you plan next season by offering monthly special savings too. Go to airportgarden.biz for current specials and seasonal classes and events, or just stop on by our spacious indoor-outdoor garden center on Edgewood Drive in Port Angeles to chat with the experts. Airport Garden Center, planting knowledge, growing gardeners since 1977.
In this segment, we're going to spend some time talking about Tenderly, the life and times of Nat King Cole. That is the title of the show that award-winning artist Wayne Forrest puts together. He reimagines the music of Nat King Cole in a soulful, story-driven performance about legacy, race, and quiet resistance, all surrounded by terrific music from Nat King Cole. And it's coming to Field Hall here in Port Angeles Tuesday through Thursday, August 18th through the 20th. 3 shows, cabaret style, so it's limited seating and should be a good time. If you're interested, do head over to Field Hall's website and snatch those tickets up because they're going fast. And joining us is Dwayne Forrest. Let's talk a bit about how you got started in maybe an interest with Nat King Cole.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Well, Nat, man, I remember the first time I heard his voice. I was a young buck, and I was just, scrolling through the radio at home, and I just froze when I heard his voice. It's just something about it, instantly timeless. And he's been a big part of my life growing up. It's through Nat that I felt like I had open doors to get into the jazz world. It felt like a world that I didn't belong in, until I heard him. And so that's always been a special part of me. I wanted to make a tribute show about him. The idea came about 4 years ago. I was like, a lot of people don't know parts of his story, and just like what the context that he was performing in and bringing this joyful, beautiful smile and music to people was actually really tough times in the U.S. during the civil rights movement. And I thought the contrast was beautiful, so I wanted to make a show about it.
And so you're bringing it to Port Angeles. You're going to be on multiple days up here as well. Each show the same, or is there going to be anything different between them?
No, it's the same show over the 3 days. We're looking at, it's a cabaret style, so I believe it's like 80 seats per show. So if folks want to get tickets for those, you have to go quickly because I heard they're selling pretty fast. But yeah, so it'll be like cabaret, very intimate style, and the same show over the 3 days.
So describe, folks, what you're going to present when they come to your show. What's it going to be?
Yeah, so my style of theater. So this is music theater, I'd say. It's not just a gig. You'll be hearing music, some of the classics that you'd expect to hear from Nat, but also some other surprises of those folks that influenced Nat. And I go between songs, and I oscillate to storytelling, and sort of a dive into history as well. People tell me that in this show and my other show, Bob Marley, How Reggae Changed the World, it's sort of like a history lesson at the same time as storytelling. You learn a bit about me, how jazz started, how Nat got going, his life, and the context of the civil rights movement, all while listening to really good jazz music. And it's really cool.
You know, one of the fascinating things about Nat King Cole is you really did cross all genres of music. I mean, he was a jazz guy, but really, pop people got into him, rock and roll got into him. I mean, even country western got into Nat King Cole, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. He was special, man. Yeah, and you're right. A lot, you know your stuff. He's he has some country tunes, right? Like, yeah, and they're beautiful, man. Yeah, so I do love that about Nat. He crossed genres, and he brought people together, especially in a very divided time in the U.S. Right? You'd see, white folks and black folks sitting there together enjoying his music. It's a magical thing.
What have you learned most about Nat King Cole in putting this together, researching it, and developing your show?
I think I got a much greater appreciation of the impact he's had worldwide. I knew he had some music in he has some Spanish albums, for example, right? And I knew he had played in Cuba and all that. I didn't realize that he had been around. And he's played all over the world, and they know Nat's music out in Asia, man, right? They know it all over Europe. Doesn't matter the language you speak, people can even sing the songs along with you. And I think that was the coolest part about putting this together, to see truly that the impact was even beyond the States, but it was like a worldwide impact.
But at the time, it is phenomenal he had as much worldwide carry as he did, because it was tough. Times were tough then for a black artist anywhere.
Right. Yeah, times were really tough. One of the things I found out is that in I forgot what country it is right now, but he was in Europe, and he was told that he couldn't be a crooner, because he was black, because crooners at the time were white folks, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they were wrong about that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably the epitome of crooner, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that so it's like stories like that I uncovered, because when I make these shows, I didn't, it's funny, growing up in school, I did terrible in history. I think I failed, right? Every time I took a history course. Didn't realize how much I love it. And I think my favorite part about putting these shows together is like diving into the history and learning stories like what I just told you. It's really, really fascinating. And I can't wait to share the work with the folks in Port Angeles.
Tell us a bit about your history. What you're a musician, obviously. You've become, I think, by default, a historian now by doing this show in some ways.
Right.
But how did you get started? What has been your journey?
Yeah, well, I do get into a bit of that in the show, but I'll say this because this is not in the show. In terms of like the music theater thing, I was just telling someone this the other day. When I was in grade 10, back to school again, I took a drama class because someone told me that it was a free credit and there was no way you can fail it. So that's the only reason why I took it. I had no interest in drama. I didn't know anything about theater. And one day the teacher had a school trip planned for just outside of Toronto. We have a place called Stratford, Ontario. It's where we have the Stratford Theatre Festival, based off of the UK's festival. And, really gorgeous place. I knew nothing about it. And they were doing a field trip there. And they asked if I'd like to go. I said no. I didn't want to hang out with any theater kids. I thought they were nerds or something. And they told me that it would count towards my grade and they'd have free food. I said, okay, I'll go. And so I went with them. And the first theater production I ever saw was Fiddler on the Roof, the full remount cast, like the original cast. And I didn't know I could feel that way. Like, laughing, crying, goosebumps, edge of your seat, uh, like I didn't know I could feel all those emotions from one thing, and it blew me away. It really did. And that's when the seed got planted. I didn't know how or what, but I was like, I need to do this with my life. That's all I knew. And a few years later, I got involved with the. Do you guys know about the Fringe festivals out there?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we have one in Toronto, and so I made a music theater show about a tough relationship I had, and I made a music album for it, and I created that album into a theater show and invited my friends. And then someone came to that show and said, "Hey, you should bring this show to the Toronto Fringe Festival." And that's how I got started. And I brought the show there. It did well. And then I moved on to making new shows, and I've traveled around the world doing this now.
So going back to what you talked about at the top of our interview, you weren't just a Nat King Cole fan. You kind of fell into that, right? You discovered him at some point. It wasn't like you were seeking this guy out.
No. I just heard his voice we always had reggae playing at the house, right? My mom was like, it was like permanently fixed on the radio, or I didn't say this earlier, but we're Jamaican. My family's Jamaican. Okay. And so and that's all that was playing in the house. What's that?
So that makes sense. Yeah, your just familiar music was always playing, right?
That's it. That's all that was on. And then I would go down to the radio and get yelled at because I would change it. I like classical music a lot, right? Listen to a lot of Bach and Chopin, right? And then one day I was just like scrolling, and I would hear the jazz station before, but it never arrested me until I heard Nat King Cole. It just kind of stopped me in my tracks,
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it started.
It's amazing. Because people will look at you and say, this guy's too young to be a Nat King Cole fan.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but I think all ages like Nat King Cole. Most people who discover him like it. But I'm sure people have said that to you.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And when I perform the show, obviously the audience is skewed to an older audience type, right? The people that grew up listening to him and know him, right? But there are still people my age and much younger than me, right? And that is timeless. He's not going anywhere.
Agreed.
So,
yeah. Well, it's good music. You can't beat good music, right?
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Okay, so you play this. How many times are you out with this show in a typical year? I understand you're everywhere with this thing.
Well, this one's newer. So so the show I've been touring before this is called Bob Marley. How I Get You. I'm actually bringing that show back to you guys to Port Angeles in November.
So we're
going to
get
Field Hall.
So we're going to get it.
Bob Marley.
All right, we get another shot at you then. All right, Bob Marley and Nat King Cole. Very good. All right.
Yeah. But the Nat show, I just launched it officially. I did a workshop of it at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. That was in June, and then I've done the only other band performance I did was in Calgary at the National Music Center. That was amazing. It was a sold out show and it was beautiful. And now I get to do a band version with you guys in Port Angeles. And I'm really excited.
Excellent. I got to ask you this then. Which one are you liking better, the Bob Marley show or the Nat King Cole show?
That's tough.
That's like it's like picking a kid, right? Yeah, you can't pick a favorite.
Well, if you ask, like I was saying to people that the Nat King Cole one, I do because the Bob one, I do love the Bob show as well. But I guess maybe it's newer and just like diving into the civil rights stuff was really interesting for me. Yeah. But I just did a couple of performances of Bob because I hadn't done it in a while, and I was like, oh, I like this show. This show's good.
Good. Well, that's all right. That's a good, honest answer. I'll take that one. Before we wrap up, do you have a favorite Nat King Cole song?
Yes, I do. Can I give you two?
It's hard absolutely. Yeah, let's give me two.
Yeah, Tenderly, which is the name of the show, I think is just one of the most gorgeous songs ever. I think it's so beautiful, and I do love how I feel when I listen to Paper Moon. This makes me feel so good.
Yeah. Good choices. Both good choices. All right. Safe travels. We'll see you up here August 18th through the 20th. There's still tickets available, but as you warned us, they're going fast. So I'll tell folks, get over to Field Arts website and snatch them up while you can, and take in Tenderly, The Life and Times of Nat King Cole, put on by award-winning artist Dwayne Forrest. Dwayne, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us.
Oh, I really appreciate your time, Todd. Thanks for having me, and I can't wait to meet y'all.
And that is Dwayne Forrest, who's bringing Tenderly, The Life and Times of Nat King Cole to Field Hall. Head on over there. Tickets are $40. A 2-item food and beverage minimum comes with that. And get your tickets while you can. He'll be performing Tuesday, August 18th, the 19th, and the 20th, all at 6 p.m. at Field Hall here in Port Angeles.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Hi, it's Dan Shappy with Farmers Insurance. Community matters, and that's why we're proud to support Todd Ortloff and local voices that keep us connected. If you want insurance advice from real neighbors, stop by our office on Peabody Street. Real people helping real people right here at home.
Dan Shappy and Farmers Insurance is proud to sponsor the Todd Ortloff Show every Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
And now a word from our friends at the Eagles Club in Port Angeles. They welcome new members every day. Be part of the club with some fantastic membership perks right now, like discounted cover charges for events, live music, discounted facility rental, a whole lot more. The friendly faces behind the bar will greet you with foods and snack options every day, and you'll always feel like you're right at home when you step inside the Eagles Club. They offer something for everyone. Poker on Tuesdays with a $20 buy-in. Just bring a member to sign you in. And stop by on Wednesday and experience the Imperfectionist Music Jam session. That's free with an Eagles member to sign you in as well. On Thursdays, pop on by for Barstool Bingo at 6 p.m. The sales start at 5:30. And Friday, the members-only Queen of Hearts raffle is up to a jackpot of over $30,000. And every Saturday evening, you'll hear some live music from very talented local musicians. Sundays, they serve breakfast to the public, 9:30 till noon. Find out more by becoming an Eagles member today. Stop on by or call 360-452-3344.
Ladies, it's time for an uncomfortable conversation. Urinary changes are common as we age, especially among us women. But those changes don't have to control your life. Hi, this is Andy McGill from Dungeness Court Memory Care. The aging bladder is complicated. That's why I strongly encourage you to attend our free community presentation for women. Join us for Go With The Flow, a talk about female urinary health, on August 20th, featuring Dr. Osmanis from Squim Medical Associates. Learn what's normal, what isn't, and the treatment options available to help you stay active and confident. So ladies, come meet with us in a safe, informative environment and get your questions answered from Dr. Osmanis. Bring your questions for this free presentation. We'll go beyond the bathroom for women's urinary health and discuss how taking care of your bladder today will help you lead an active life as you age. See you August 20th at 10 a.m. right here at Dungeness Court in Squim.
Space is limited. Contact Dungeness Court to RSVP.
Bathfitter is celebrating over 42,000 installations in Western Washington. That's 42,000 bathrooms made safer, cleaner, and more stylish. Right now, get free installation and no-interest financing for 24 months on the bathroom of your dreams. Custom-fit tub and shower solutions installed in as little as 1 day with complete removal of your old setup, backed by a lifetime warranty. Visit bathfitternw.com for your free consultation. Special financing for qualified buyers only.
And finally this afternoon, we check in with Brad Mielke in the Start Here podcast, where he visits with Elizabeth Schulze, describing how Americans have reached some new debt milestones.
This morning, U.S. authorities are set to put out the latest inflation data from the last month. And I'll tell you where at least some of that is coming from. It's coming from my grocery store. I came back from vacation and all the price tags have been replaced in the last week. My favorite strawberry jam went from $6 to $8. And even before we got those inflation numbers, we learned yesterday that Americans are buried in more credit card debt than ever before. So with that, let's go to ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. She covers economics. Elizabeth, let's start with prices. What are we expecting here?
The big picture, Brad, is that prices
are still going in the wrong direction. Inflation is expected to go up at an annual rate of 3.4%. What does that mean? Prices are 3.4% higher compared to the same time last year. And that is about where we were the month before, but it is still above where you want to see in a healthy economy, which is typically closer to a 2% rate. When you think about what that means in terms of actual dollars spent, like that strawberry jam that you're buying at the grocery store, the typical household at the current inflation rate is spending about $245 extra every month to buy the same stuff that they were at this time last year. And that's really where you start to see it add up. And in any given month, Brad, we see certain products or services where prices went up more, and sometimes we see places where prices went down. The overall trend, when you look at groceries, which is one of the most salient places for people when they're thinking about their budget and their expenses, is that prices have gone up, pretty notably over the past couple of months. And when you look back over the last, 5 years, you've got grocery prices up 30%. That is a very big number when you're thinking about kind of those price gains each month adding up over time. When we're looking at this report, you're also looking at the impact of higher oil. Remember, oil had gone down, so that meant inflation was maybe getting better, but then it went back up with the latest escalation with the Iran war. So that can also show up in places like airfares or transportation costs. And then you kind of have the underlying higher costs in the economy, Brad, for places like services, medical care, childcare, some of those other day-to-day expenses that aren't really explained by the oil story that give economists and policymakers reason to worry that this inflation has kind of been sticking around for longer when those prices keep rising.
Well, and then if those prices are rising, like we also learned yesterday just how much credit card debt exists in this country. How high have these numbers gotten, and is that kind of related to the prices we're talking about?
It is absolutely related to the higher prices that you're paying, because think about it. When you're paying more, you're putting more on your card, credit card balances go up. And that number right now, Brad, is very big. $1.26 trillion in outstanding credit card debt in the U.S. We are just shy of the all-time high, which is $1.28 trillion. And we did see that number go up in the most recent quarter of the year.
Wow.
So that could reflect higher prices. Things cost more, so people's balances go up. It could also reflect the fact that people are just out spending more in the summer and these months. We do see, a lot of the data, Brad, shows resilient spending even with higher prices. People are going on vacations and eating out and going on and buying concert tickets. And, that would also show up in a higher credit card number. But one piece of the credit card data that you really want to look at is how much of it comes down to people who are spending more on their cards but not actually paying off that debt. Because you've got about half of people who have credit cards paying off their balances in full every month. That's a sign of a healthy economy. The other half of people who are taking on debt and can't pay it off, that is more worrisome. And we have seen those delinquency rates, that's the technical term for people falling behind on their card payments, those rates have been going up. When we've asked researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York that puts out these numbers about that, they say, yes, the rates are elevated, but they don't seem super worried about it at this point, but something to definitely keep watching,
Right.
especially as you see prices going up. Are people becoming too stretched and going deeper into debt?
Are jobs also a problem here? Because I just know last week's jobs numbers were super disappointing. Does that tell us anything about how people are potentially getting into debt as well?
Yeah, it always has to do with jobs too, Brad. And you know that because at the end of the day, if more people are not working, they have a much harder time absorbing these higher prices. And we saw 23,000 jobs lost in the month of July. That was not at all the expectation. Analysts had thought we would be adding about 80,000 jobs. There could be some quirks in the data that account for that. So, this is 1 month. We'll keep looking at kind of the hiring picture. As part of that, one thing we've seen, Brad, is that people's wages, people's salaries are not keeping up with inflation as inflation has accelerated. And that's a really important piece of this puzzle because it's one thing if prices are going up and people's salaries and paychecks are going up too. If that's not happening, it becomes even harder to absorb.
Oh, it's not necessarily like people are getting laid off en masse, but they're also not moving their jobs. So then their salaries are staying stagnant, probably.
People are sticking around because they're worried they won't get a new job. And generally, when you're sticking around, you're not finding a new job, your wage gains can stagnate more too. Exactly.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Hello, this is Port Commissioner Connie Beauvais. The Port of Port Angeles is investing in the future of our harbor with important improvements to the log yard. By the end of 2026, we will have constructed a new stormwater treatment system that will protect water quality in Port Angeles Harbor by reducing industrial stormwater runoff. This means that we'll be cleaning up pollutants before they enter the water. Crews are regrading and paving the site. This will be a big improvement compared to the unpaved site we have today. Pavement will reduce mud and pollutants at the site, improve water drainage, and make log yard operations more efficient. Together, these changes will help protect water quality, marine habitat, and the natural resources that make our maritime communities so special. The Log Yard Upgrade Project is the Port's next step toward a cleaner, healthier harbor for generations to come. Learn more at theportofpa.com or follow us on Facebook.
Need a new roof? Save big with Tri-State Roofing. For a limited time, mention promo code KONP50 and get 50% off new gutters with your new roof or 50% off a new skylight with your roof replacement. Protect your home with expert installation, quality materials, and a team you can trust. Financing available. Tri-State Roofing, 360-208-2222 and mention KONP50.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's 49th birthday, and you get the gifts. Big savings on saltwater hot spring spas, plus free Bluetooth music and interest-free financing for 3 years. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
When nurse practitioner John Hodges opened Rawls Family Medicine, he brought healthcare home for his community. How has a nurse impacted your life? Share your story at thepowerofnurses.org.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
The North Olympic Peninsula's news station. News Radio KONP Port Angeles Squim. AM 1450, FM 101.7 and 101.3. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Western Colombia, crews frantically digging through the rubble by hand and heavy equipment looking for earthquake survivors. ABC's Faith Abube is in the hard-hit city of Cali.
The death toll rising. At least 224 killed after that 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck Monday, toppling buildings, crippling roads, and damaging health centers in multiple cities. The president of Colombia sworn in just last Friday, saying more than 1,600 homes across the country collapsed.
We're learning more about the security measures taken during President Trump's trip to Turkey last month, where he snuck onto a different plane. Here's ABC's Jonathan Carl.
The New York Times reports that U.S. officials feared the Iranians had information on Trump's whereabouts in Turkey and that they could target his plane with a surface-to-air missile. As President Trump was moved to another plane and a catering truck, the traveling press and most of his staff remained on the now decoy Air Force One, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
A grand jury indictment has been unsealed in the case of Nick Reiner in the alleged murders of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner, at their California home last December. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles with more.
The charges in this indictment are essentially the same as what he was originally charged with, the murder of his parents. They added one special circumstance of lying in wait. He was already charged with multiple murders and using a knife as special circumstances. Essentially what this does is allows the prosecution to bypass a preliminary hearing and go right on to the trial. Not much else changes in this, but he has now been indicted.
Nick Reiner scheduled to return for a pretrial hearing September 15th. Millions of people across the Northern Hemisphere treated today to a total solar eclipse. Portions of Russia, Iceland, and Greenland first, then northern Spain and Portugal. You're listening to ABC News.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Health insurance premiums are slated to go up next year.
The cost of Obamacare plans in the marketplace have gone up 20% since Congress failed to extend subsidies that were put in place during COVID. Now, Bloomberg is reporting that U.S. employers are also bracing for the largest price hike in 15 years. The rising price of prescription drugs, hospital stays, and doctor visits are all contributing factors. As more small businesses drop coverage for their workers, some employees who can't afford what is offered have simply given up on having health insurance at all. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
New York City officials touting public safety efforts so far this year to bring down crime rates. New York's Attorney General Letitia James crediting new strategies for taking more than 3,000 guns off the streets.
Every illegal gun on our streets has the potential to shatter a family, devastate a neighborhood, and change lives forever. And that is why announcements like this matter.
Officials say major crime is down nearly 7% citywide. Cases of cyclosporiasis now topping 24,000, according to the most recent CDC data. There are 13,895 laboratory-confirmed cases with 740 hospitalizations reported. The latest figures come amid an outbreak now linked to now recalled iceberg lettuce supplied by Taylor Farms that has spread to at least 15 states. The CDC shows ages for those getting sick range from 1 to 98 years old.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. A 30-year-old man wanted in connection with a domestic violence incident was arrested after a 24-hour search. Deputies say Aaron Hatfield fled on foot before he was stopped with a taser on Tuesday afternoon. He faces several new allegations now. In Olympic National Park, crews have extinguished the lightning-caused Sourdough Mountain fire. The Mount Tom Creek fire remains active, but showing minimal behavior. Stage 2 fire restrictions still in effect for the park and national forest. That bans campfires. And Sequim is getting bigger. The city has annexed Flores Acres, adding about 20 acres and about 100 residents. Project includes upgrades to sewer, wastewater, streets, and sidewalks, backed with about $4 million in grant funding.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 68. Northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows level off around 54 tonight. Ample sunshine expected tomorrow, high of 71. Upper 60s Friday and Saturday with a slight chance for rain Friday. A peek at the extended shows 70 Sunday, 71 Monday, and 68 on Tuesday. Once again, high of 68 today, low of 54 tonight, a high of 71 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 66.
Normal is broke and common sense is weird. So we're here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio, this is The Ramsey Show. And I'm Rachel Cruz hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney. And we're answering your questions about life and money. So give us a call at 888-825-5225. All right, starting us off this hour, we have Lynn in Jersey City, New Jersey. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. So you guys are kind of the tiebreaker between me and my husband.
Yes.
Just to give you some background, we are on baby step 6, 5, and 6, and we have a house that we're aggressively working to pay off, but we have a lot of equity. So we're almost at the cap of hitting above 500 for capital gains taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband doesn't want to pay it off, but I want to pay it off because it gives me peace. And we don't know what to do. He's saying, if we pay it off, we're going to pay taxes on the gain since we are planning to upgrade soon.
How soon?
So I don't know what to do. Maybe like in 2 years.
Okay, but there's going to be an element of paying taxes on the equity regardless of whether you pay it off or not.
So we're under the 500 threshold right now, but if we continue paying it off the way we have intended to,
the equity hits that 500.
Correct. So it'll be above that. Yep, in 2 years.
In 2 years. When are you guys going to move? I know Judge just asked that, but
we're looking around 2 years. Yeah, our family keeps growing. We owe about $250 on it, and it's worth $750, around $750 or $700. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So how quickly could you pay it off?
When I work this Excel, it looks about 3.5 years realistically.
But you're going to hit that mark in 2 years?
Correct, or a little bit less, actually, if I continue paying it the way we're doing it now.
That you're doing it now. Yeah, I mean,
so it's just my husband's like, save the money. We have a 2.5 interest. Let's put it into a business idea. I really don't know what to do.
That to me sounds like what the real issue is he wants to use that money for something else.
Yeah, and I feel guilty sometimes not supporting him, but it gives me peace of mind, just paying off my house.
What's his business idea? What is he wanting to use the money for?
He has an idea of creating like video games, essentially.
Okay. Has he done any work on this prior? It's still just in the idea phase.
He has. No, he has. He's doing protocols, essentially, and we're waiting to kind of start marketing it, and he wants some money for marketing.
Okay.
But I'm a woman, and I love the security of having my house paid off.
I'm a man, and I like the security of having my house paid off. I mean, it's not a gendered thing. I think the real conversation is not about the tax advantages or we're going to have to pay tax on. That to me isn't the issue. The issue is because here's the thing. I won't go down that road. I could make you a math case, but this isn't a math question. It's you want peace in the middle of your chest. You want peace in your household. And you also have a husband who wants to be a video game designer. And so having a